Every summer we spent 2 weeks together. She didn't know I existed.
Year after year, no recollection of this guy.
Did you have friends that were trying to ship you to?
Students.
I kept telling the people, it's probably because we the only two black people.
Take us back to the olden days.
The olden days.
How did you
That
guys...
was wild. Was that pun intended?
No, it's
there was a
full
pun?
truth.
Dang. Dang. Oh.
That's wild.
No, but for real, when did y'all not like when did you meet, but like when
did you care about
did Justin Williams and Anjaih Clemens come on the scene of like knowing who each other were in the world?
Yeah.
Tell us that meeting.
I mean, you can talk about
Whatever.
Or when did I guess when did Justin know that Anjaih came on the scene? Anjaih
I
didn't
didn't even know he existed.
Mr.
It's nice to
NPC.
know that I
It's
was
so
not.
cold, bro.
So,
NPC.
prior to 2015, I was an NPC in her life, and so I actually remember the first time I actually saw her, and one of my friend DeLeon can attest to this. We lived together, and we were rolling to football practice, and we're driving past on Warren Avenue,
What's
Cole
Warren
Hall.
Avenue?
In Winfield, Kansas, at Southwestern.
Okay, we
Like,
were at college.
The Warren
Yes,
Avenue.
we were in college, Warren Avenue. We
Yeah.
were in college, and we were rolling to football practice. And she was walking across the street. She had her books. She had like some books in her hands, kind of like the old school. Like nobody carries books like that anymore. Didn't have a backpack, and she was walking across the street
Cutie
into
little
Cole.
schoolgirl.
Yeah,
What is-
she was a cute schoolgirl, and
Okay, wait. That's a question, though.
yeah,
Like, Anjaih,
What?
was that like... Was there some premeditated, I'm going to drop these books?
No, he
and
was in a car.
someone's- Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
I didn't know
driving.
if it was just like any guy, like...
Mhm.
No.
Oh.
See if someone knocks into me, I drop the books. That's a whole love story.
Oh, no.
That's the
No,
movie
no.
classic.
That's the
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
classic.
yeah. Okay.
That is not your girl over here.
Not...
No, that was definitely not her. But
Alright, go ahead.
so DeLeon told me like,
Yeah.
I was like, dang, who is that? And he's like, oh, that's just Anjaih. And I was
Dang,
like,
just
and I was like, what you know about her? And he's like, she got a bad attitude. That was the first thing she said. And I was like, ooh. Well, I was like, the way I was operated, I still have always operated this way. Like I don't deal with people, women, girls with bad attitude. You got a bad attitude, stank attitude, I don't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, never mind then. And so,
But what else did he say?
but she was cool.
And then what
That's
else did he
literally
say?
what he said. He said she got bad attitude, but she cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can vibe with that. But and so yeah, that was really all he said.
Okay.
And so and then I kind of like, I saw her around a few times on campus in the cafeteria and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I kind of want to get her number or something. And so I was about to holler at her, and then I found out she was dating one of my teammates.
Oof.
Oh,
This light-skinned dude.
Dang.
Anyways,
Light skin
They was in
privilege.
style.
I don't know why.
they was in style.
Light-skinned dudes was in style.
Pretty
Hey.
Ricky looking.
Dang.
But anyways, she was dating him, and so like I was the type of dude that I wasn't like, if somebody was dating somebody, like I wasn't gonna try to be a home wrecker or nothing like that. And so
Right.
I kind of just left it alone. We interacted with each other through college, like we were in gospel choir together.
And I have no recollection
Um,
of any of this.
There's
No
literally a
recollection.
video of
Gone
us
like the
being
wind.
in the building, like literally to the north of us, like in a room with a piano and singing. Like she's like 3 people down from me.
So here's the deal.
So
Uh-huh.
I
Tell us, Anjaih,
I
what-
have no recollection of this until
Yeah,
I
yeah.
seen pictures
Uh-huh.
or video, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I recall you
Uh-huh.
being around.
You just
Yeah.
didn't
It was-
know that he was.
You were there? You were
but-
at that function?
Yeah.
told you, NPC.
You were there.
You were at that Super Bowl party?
Dancing.
You
Yeah.
don't know. Yes. Crazy thing is, like, we just looked at a picture of us directly next to each other at our college graduation. Like, we were in the same
right
Same
next to each
picture.
other.
Like, we didn't.
Same
Nobody
picture.
It's
close to
funny
us took the
because me,
picture.
you, and Dalian are in
Dalian
their
in the
picture
same
together.
picture, yeah.
So
All three
I
of
was
you?
walking
Yes.
off the stage, or walking across the stage, maybe, and I think you were walking down.
It's
Reg-
something.
it's
yeah,
something,
we
but
could.
regardless,
we
we're
have
all
to
three
bring
in
it
the
and
same
show it all
picture.
sometime.
Didn't even
Yeah,
realize it.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
but she didn't know I existed. We
He
even
played
worked
drums at baccalaureate.
baccalaureate. Actually played
I
drums
spoke at
and some.
baccalaureate.
So did you have your dreads at this time?
I had mini dreads.
Mini
I
dreads?
started
Okay, I was
my
gonna say,
dreads,
like-
yeah.
Like you're next to this guy multiple times at multiple functions. I was gonna say if it's like you have your dread, like I feel like that's maybe a memorable
No.
thing. Like I'm always next to this guy with
I
his
was-
dreads at all these functions.
But
and
also, like, when I
everything.
was in college, I was kind of like, I was more so to myself. I really didn't have,
Okay.
like, a lot of friends. Not
Yeah.
saying that I didn't have friends, but I just didn't hang out with a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like, I had a core
Well, you're
group
not
of
from
people.
around here.
No, I'm from Kansas City.
Right.
And so I came to college in 2009. He was already here, had been here for a couple years.
2 years. I was pretty established. I was pretty
Yeah.
well known on campus
Yeah.
and was involved and had a lot of friends and
Yeah.
things like that. So
So I knew
she
people.
transferred in.
I transferred
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
I ran track. I was on the dance team. So I knew people from the activities that I was involved in, but I really didn't hang out with a lot of people. Like I hung out with
Right.
a core group of like my teammates and then occasionally some of the people from gospel choir that were girls.
Mhm.
And then the guy that I was dating at the time.
Okay.
That was literally it. I worked a lot. I went to track practice. I went to class. I hung out with my boyfriend. I went to class. I went to track practice. I went to work. I hung out with my boyfriend. So that was pretty much like my routine.
Mhm.
And I saw
Yeah.
people in passing. Hey, what's
Right.
up? You know, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
And I admit, like, I was also busy too. Like,
Yeah.
played football, worked full time job, worked nights, and then I was in chapel, played drums, played guitar some, and then I was also in like student government stuff. Like, so I was busy too, but
Yeah.
I still remember seeing
Yeah, I don't remember.
people.
So-
you
I
know,
don't remember.
How long, like, was this
Oh, man.
NPC time? Like your period of being an NPC?
This would be fall 2009
Correct?
to probably, I'd say, maybe July, August 2015.
Correct. But keep in mind, we graduated college in 2011, went our separate ways. Like I stayed an extra 2 years for
Well, you
graduate
just
school.
graduated college in 2011.
Yeah,
When was I in 2011?
you were 6.
I was 6 years old.
I don't know if
was-
you were 6. I was
I
just
was
making a
probably
number.
kindergarten.
I was
first
throwing a
grade.
number out
You're
there.
probably in those.
No, you're right. You're
Those
right. I was
dinosaurs.
six.
That's
wild. I was
That's
6 years
crazy.
old.
I just threw a number out there.
Hey.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's in those dinosaur undies. That
No.
No. And, hey, Toy Story. Toy Story. Bro.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Buzz
Yeah,
Lightyear.
That's
Woody
wild.
underwear, Buzz Lightyear wings.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
sorry.
So, squirrel. Here we
But
go.
hold on.
Oh,
So yes, we went our separate ways, but every summer we spent 2 weeks together.
okay.
And
Okay,
working
what
this-
for?
We worked a camp every single summer, the same camp together. I've worked this camp since 2008.
Mhm.
Every summer, it's called Builder Brown Camp, and they had it every summer at Southwestern.
For middle school kids.
For middle
Yeah.
school kids, they come from Wichita, and we
Mhm.
mentor them. And I worked this camp 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13. 14 was the only year I didn't work it, which she also didn't work it in 14.
'Cause I lived in Iowa.
And then we worked
Yeah.
at 15, 16, 17, and a few more years after that, too. And so,
So, Anjaih,
So
were
we
you
were-
aware that he worked builder
If you
camps?
showed me a photo, oh, you were there. Without the photo, no recollection of this.
No
guy.
recollection.
I have photos.
Year
of
after
her.
year.
Yeah.
Like,
Year after year, no
like-
recollection of this guy.
like it wasn't just like,
Hmm.
every other year.
It's probably because I was not paying him any attention. Because I was like in my own little world.
Like I'm on a mission.
I had my own little boyfriend.
I'm gonna teach these kids. I have my own boyfriend.
yeah, so
Even
I
after
wasn't.
college.
You
I
weren't
wasn't-
you weren't looking, so you
no,
didn't
'cause
see.
I was already
on the
locked
hunt.
in with
Yeah.
somebody.
Okay.
I was locked in.
So
And
then,
well, props to you for being faithful,
Mm.
You know, I try.
being a faithful person.
what happened August 2015 that got you out of NPC world?
So let's see. I was living.
Yeah.
Okay, I lived in Iowa. I came back to Southwestern in January of 2015, which you also came back that same year
Yeah, I came back,
to work.
basically applied, and that's a whole nother story, my testimony and how I got there. But essentially, yeah, I got a job at Southwestern as international director, and then also a resident director for Wallingford Hall, which is the freshman boys residence hall. And so we worked in the same department essentially. So
Essentially.
we became coworkers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coworkers. Sorry.
So you both come back in 2015.
Correct.
Yeah. God, man.
Like,
Like-
what? Why were you back in Iowa? Were you just like?
So I at a grad school. So I stayed. We graduated in 2011. I stayed an extra 2 years to get my master's degree. After that time was up, I basically needed a job.
Okay.
So I applied for a job at a college in Iowa,
Mhm.
got the job. So I moved to Iowa because that was the only place that would hire me at that time. So I moved to
Right.
Iowa, didn't know a single soul. Honestly, it was the craziest year and a half of my life, but praise God. Anyway, so I lived in Iowa.
Yeah.
One of 5 Black people in the town.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
crazy.
man.
Nice.
And then I ended up getting an opportunity to come back to work at Southwestern. So then I came back a year and a half later, which was January 2015.
She didn't just come back to Southwestern. Like,
She like
They
busted the
came-
door.
that's
and-
another story.
That's a totally
but-
different story.
But they came and got her.
Oh, really?
totally
So
different story.
Oh.
they
They said,
came
we
and
got
got her.
we got a limousine
We-
waiting
we
outside
want
your
you.
house right now.
Like, we want
Like-
you specifically.
Yes,
So,
totally.
Okay.
so it is totally.
Man,
but
so they
Yeah.
sought you
they
out.
came and
It
got her.
wasn't just
Yeah.
like the door was open, Angel walked through it. It was
Yeah.
like someone came and kicked down the door and dragged
It's
her
like
through it.
dragged
and
Yeah,
her.
said,
because I literally applied. I
this is
applied,
happening.
got denied. Kept
Yeah,
working
she
up in
applied.
Iowa,
She'd
so-
applied
Yeah.
for it
Okay.
before and got denied, but they came and got her.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
crazy.
And
So-
and I will say, like, even the way I got like hired at Southwestern was, I think, some intervention, divine intervention, without a doubt,
Mhm.
and God also
Yeah.
like putting people. Like, I think about like the relationships that you foster or cultivate earlier in life. They come back later to,
Right.
and they can end up being a blessing for you.
sure.
So it opened
Yeah.
the door for me to like come into a job that I'd never done. Two
Yeah.
jobs that I'd never done. I knew nothing about them,
Mhm.
and I feel like I rocked them both. But like, I truly believe that like the door was open and God like had a plan for me at that time. So
Mhm.
so yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So you both come back in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and you're both working here at the college.
Mhm.
Like, did you guys work pretty like close to each other? Like in the
Our
different-
offices were in different
Separate
places,
buildings,
but
but
we would
we
see
had
each
the
other.
same.
So you see
we had
each
the
other quite a
same
bit on
main
campus?
boss. Yeah,
Okay.
because we were under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we worked. We were in the same Monday meeting every
Every
Monday.
staff meeting.
Every staff meeting. we
Whenever
were
you saw
together.
her in those meetings, were you like, did you remember who she was?
In
Like,
2015?
that you like,
Oh yeah, I had a crush on her.
uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I remembered it, but
Okay.
it wasn't like something. So I was super hurt during that time, and I
Mhm.
wasn't like checking. I wasn't dealing with females.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be in a relationship. I wasn't trying to do
Just
nothing.
on your
So
own,
I was
doing your own
trying
thing,
to I was trying to
seek
heal.
God,
It was
yeah.
like 2015 to 2017 was a really big time healing journey where God was really working on me with some stuff and helping me heal from like childhood stuff, but also like, hurt that I kind of put myself into and things
Yeah.
that I had done as well. And so God was really working on me, and so I
Mhm.
wasn't really interested in dating anybody.
So
So.
coincidentally, I don't want to say at the same time, but prior to me coming back to Southwestern, the last relationship that I was in ended in October of 2013.
Oh, okay.
So I had not been in a actual relationship with anybody since October of 2013. So
Mhm.
I too was also on like a healing journey. Like I was like, I'm done with this. I ain't dating nobody.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for people. Like,
Right.
let me just figure out my life.
Mhm.
Go with God.
Yep.
Amen.
So yeah. So then we came back, worked. We were just
Yeah.
cool
And
friends,
friends, yeah. I think
coworkers. Like
Yeah.
it's like being like, as far as us, like we were two of the, but only African American, really like our age group at the college, and so like,
Mhm.
but also on top of that, we just kind of connected,
Yeah.
and also being graduates from the same class. There's a couple of other people from
Right.
our graduating class who also work at the college too. So, but we just kind of connected and became friends, became really good friends. I used to come in during that time period. Like I used to come and sit in her office from time to time. Because sometimes, like, my
strictly
office,
platonic though.
yeah, just
Yeah.
a friend. My office that I had, like, was literally probably, if we could show you this whole room, it was like my office was a closet. You remember that office? Like, it literally had space for a desk and a chair and a bookcase, and it was really tight.
Oh, man.
And so,
Man.
like, a lot of times I would work I'd have office hours, but then I would work, like, in other places on campus. So I could see students and see, engage in those ways. And so a lot of times I would go and, every couple of days work in her office.
Yeah.
And then we talk and just, it wasn't, like I said, it was just friendship talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got to a place where, like, one thing is we had some mutual friends, like some of her close friends are like actually some of my childhood close friends that I've known for a long time. And then we also had some mutual friends from college.
Right.
And me, I'm a very private person at that time. Like, I wasn't very vulnerable with things. And so I got to a place where I was ready to be vulnerable with somebody, and she seemed kind of trustworthy because, like, I tend to sometimes gauge people's trust on like how I see them interact with other people when they don't know I'm paying attention. And so I saw like she seemed like she was trustworthy, and so I gave her told her some things that were like kind of vulnerable about me. And I think it had to do with maybe me being in debt or something like that. Something like that, and something like basically things that I was ashamed of. And so that I hadn't really told anybody, and I kind of told her and waited. And because we have mutual friends, and so it's like, is this gonna come back to me? And it never did. And so after that, like I began to trust her more and more, and I told her pretty much dang near everything. Like she kind of
I can hold a good secret.
I know like that's something like Anjaih, like knowing you and your personality, like.
You can't read Anjaih.
Like you can't. Like unless
you gotta ask the right question.
Yeah, unless you ask like the specific question. Like
that's
you have to be like the specific question.
Sometimes I feel like I mull over.
He's not just gonna like say it to you in conversation.
I'll mull it over and I'll have the perfect question, and I'm like, this is gonna get Anjaih's gonna open up, and I ask it to you, and you're like, what do you mean by that?
And like,
or you ask me a question back, and I'm like,
even things that aren't necessarily like secrets. It feels like everything is a secret. Because you have to ask the question.
That's the proper question.
You have to ask
it could
the
be
proper
like
question.
what like you could be like, well, like unless I asked you, what did you have for lunch today? You know, like you're not just gonna say, I just got back to the office. I had this, that, and this, and it's like it's almost like during your lunch, like did you do anything?
Yeah,
like, you just go out, come back in. It's like, did you even go to a lunch? Like, what did you? You know, it has people wondering, like, what do you do?
I like to keep people wondering.
Suspenseful.
Yeah.
Suspenseful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mysterious.
So, at this time, like, with you guys having gone to school, like, you both graduated, you're the only people that are kind of, like, in your own age group. You're both working together. You're in her office. Did you have friends that, like, who had graduated with you guys who also worked here at the college, or maybe not graduated with you, but that you were also mutually friends with that were trying to ship you to? Like together or anything like
our mutual friends weren't
you guys
trying
were
to
just
do
like
that. You know who was trying to ship us were students.
Oh yeah,
students were trying to ship us.
Let me tell you something.
They thought yes.
Say it, Anjaih.
And I kept telling the people, I kept telling them, it's probably because we the only two black people.
Right.
So y'all trying to put the black people together.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I was gonna.
Y'all trying to put the two black coworkers and two black staff members together.
Man,
that's what it was.
Yeah, but I like
how come I can't be with a white man?
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, here we are.
It's like, yeah, here we are. Like,
when did it change then though? Because you said it was platonic. When did Justin those feelings start coming back up for you? Anjaih, did you start to see him in a different light?
No.
You like come out with like 6 pack suave, and you're like, I recognize you.
Okay, the moment that I knew or felt like something, what he doing is when I used to live close to the college when I first moved back.
Okay.
I lived close to the college in walking distance, so there were days if the weather was nice, I would walk to work. And so there was one night I was working late. And so it was in the evening, and I didn't we live in a safe town, so I'm like, I'll walk home. Right. And he offered to walk me home, and we was just strictly like friends at that time. So I'm like, what you doing? What you got up your little sleeve?
Even at that time though, like I wasn't.
You weren't looking.
But I thought that was that Builderbound camp.
That might have been the summertime.
So that was just strictly out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah.
No underlying little.
I'm sure for you, like as a woman, you're like. Whenever a guy's like,
thanks, but at the same time,
like that's sweet, but
I walk home by myself all the time. What you want?
Yeah, but yeah, for me, I think like I said that I started telling her stuff about myself and things that, like I said, that God was dealing with me on that during that 2015 to 2017 time. And like I said, she was easy to talk to. She listened, and she also didn't tell, and then didn't judge me after that. And so that kind of made me trust her, but I still didn't catch any I wasn't catching any feelings. Right. It was just she was really good. And so we had a mutual friend who wanted me to date another friend. And she was really trying to push that together, and I tried it for a couple months, and then I was like, this ain't it. This ain't it, and I don't want this. And so I broke that off. There was also a couple of other dates that I had gone on, and very straightforward, and
Yeah.
I don't want to say after like God had really worked with me on some stuff. I repented of some stuff, and hey, but God worked with me, and I was like got to a point where like if I went on a date and I didn't see there being potential for the person being my wife, I like was like, hey, it was really nice meeting you. You seem like a great person, but this is the last time we're gonna talk to each other.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was very much, and
This
it's
is
like
how it is.
Hello.
Yeah.
and it was like I don't,
We're done.
and I wanted it to be like it wasn't like a disrespectful thing. It's like I just don't
Yeah.
want to waste your time, and I don't
Yeah.
want to waste mine.
Yeah.
It's like
respect,
I think I was in my 30s at that time,
Okay.
Yeah.
and so it's like,
Yeah,
and
so-
me, I was the kind of person who had the idea that I wanted to be married like when I was 20, 22.
Mm.
I actually have a book that I made in 5th grade that talked about me getting married at 22 while I was in college,
Oh.
and having twin boys and having 3 boys.
So
at
you
once.
were like, I'm not farting around.
So I was
Let's-
not, and so like
get
this
down to
is like
business.
my
Right.
childhood. Like my teacher
Yeah.
asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. In 2nd grade, I told her I wanted to be a husband
Yeah.
and a dad.
Oh.
And so like and so like I really knew what I wanted, and I was like, I'm really not wasting any more of my time.
Right.
Life
Yeah.
is too short. It's going by too fast.
Right.
Right.
And so during that time period, after that, I kind of broke that off with this other girl. I started asking God to like take away my desire to be married. I was like, take it away, because ultimately, like, if this relationship thing ain't working, I know for sure 100% you created me to be a father, because
Right.
that's the profession you put me in, working in education. I'm a father figure to so many, but I want kids to raise at home with me, and so I was literally used to pray every day, like multiple times a day. God, take away my desire to be married. I want to be like Paul. Like, I want to seek you. I want to raise kids, and I want to just minister. And so I
Minus the prison part.
Right.
definitely don't. I didn't. I mean, but ultimately,
Hey,
if that's what God
prison
put me,
ministry.
and if that's
Yeah.
what God called me to, like,
Yeah.
I would.
Just
I'd
hopefully not
accept it.
behind the bars.
I don't
but-
want to.
Yeah,
be
not
there.
behind the
Hey,
bar.
that could have started though. Whenever we went to Oklahoma, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I totally would have. I totally would. Like, if that's what
Jesus.
God had
Uh-huh.
called me to, that's what 100% what I would like.
Yeah.
I would serve. But during that time, like, I was just tired of. Like, I was tired of women. I was pretty much tired of it. And I was like, I wanted something that was stable. And I was like, God, take away my desire. Take away this desire. And then finally, there was one day that God put her on my mind. He's like. And it's like Lily, and it's like it's kind of like when
Have you considered?
when
Anjaih.
when God talked to Satan and said, "Have you considered
My
My
servant
servant
Job.
Job. Considered
Like,
my
that's
daughter
literally-
Anjaih.
That's literally what I heard, and it was like, "Have you considered Anjaih?" And I was
My
like,
servant Anjaih.
like
My
I was
The
like,
heavens
Yeah.
break
My
open
servant
and
Anjaih.
Yeah.
Right.
yes.
Angina.
Angina?
Anjaih.
Anja,
Have you ever gotten that?
Anjaih. Anjaih. So many pronunciations of my name. It's ridiculous.
Anjaih.
Anjaih.
I have to say
Anjaih.
Anjaih on my phone,
Anjaih.
Anjaih.
but
Anyway.
Squirrel. Here we go.
but
Carry on.
so,
Anyway, so-
but yeah, like literally, I heard God say, like literally say that, like, have
Yeah.
you considered Anjaih? And I was like yeah, in college, but like she's my good friend,
Right.
and he's like, it's basically like you need to consider Anjaih,
Consider my.
and so
My servant Anjaih. Faithful.
I like how he went,
I was like, and I fought him on it a little bit. I kind of
Mhm.
wrestled with it. I said, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't think she likes me. I don't think I'm her type.
Mhm.
I'm good. And I wasn't her type. And so God did the same thing. He kept putting her on my mind. And finally I asked her on a date.
Mhm.
And I got flat out, asked her on a date, hey, would you like to go get dinner?
And she said,
Nah, I'm good.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch. No, I'm good.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm
it was
good,
like,
bruh.
and it was, I want you to
Yeah.
Go
understand,
with God.
I understand it was like, kind of like cold, like,
ooh.
no.
Go with God.
And-
you really just said,
And
nah,
so-
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Nah, I'm good.
I got
I'm
food
good.
at home.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yes. And so it's crazy because like me prior to like all this healing,
Yeah.
like me, I'm gonna be honest, I believe 100% I'm a good dude.
Yeah.
Like I believe I'm 100% a good dude. Like
great dude, babe.
and I always feel like I believe I have been. I have had my rough spots without a doubt, like everybody. But overall, I'm a good dude. I'm a
Right.
good dude you'd want to take home to parents. And it's like back in the day, it would be like a girl shot me down like that. It would have been middle finger.
Dang.
Middle finger, forget
That
you.
is
I'm a good
not
dude.
Christ-like.
I know, but I'm just telling you.
Have you
back
not
in the day,
considered my
Jesus.
servant?
It would have been.
Maybe not him.
Yeah. Let me scratch that out.
Scratch it out.
But
Blot
so,
it out.
yeah. And so I like I that was an opportunity for me to go say, see, God, I tried.
Uh-huh.
And he said, try again. Do it again.
Yeah.
And so ask her again. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same thing. I essentially asked her on a date, and I kept the number in track because I don't normally hold a record of wrongs.
Yeah.
But she rejected me 10 times. Like
Indeed.
10 times.
10 times.
And so
So wait, real fast. Did you like have different ways of telling him no, or was it?
Was
like,
it just nah? I'm good.
Was
Every
it just
time?
no? I'm good every time.
No, I
Like-
just ignored it.
You ignored him.
she got to a place where she
Like-
just ignored it.
like you
she
just
didn't
like
hear it.
he's walking down the hallway. Asked.
Oh,
you
okay.
just-
That's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
I'm
No,
gonna
not
put
even
that-
a good. Not if that's a good idea.
I'll put that on the show.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright.
Anjaih, what were your thoughts during this time of Justin asking you out? Were you like fasting from relationships as a whole? Was
Were you
it just
annoyed?
specifically
I'm
him?
annoyed. No.
Okay.
It was just like I just wasn't in the space to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I wasn't in a space to like I had tried going on a few dates. After my last relationship that I told you guys about in
Mhm.
2013, I tried going on a few dates and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then like I had to wrestle in my mind about it. Like I was just going back and forth. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And so when I finally got to a place where I was like, okay, I could possibly see something with this individual, like they had already moved on. They were like, oh, that was nice. Thank you. But I've moved on. I'm like, okay, that's fine. All right, God. Noted. And so there was another gentleman that I don't know what it was, but we were talking, but he lived on an island, totally different country. So I was just like, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. But he didn't. So you stay there. I'm here. And so that ended.
Was he like a prince?
No, I
somewhere?
wish. No, I
A
don't.
duke.
A
No.
duke.
This isn't
What
Bridgerton.
you mean you
The
wish?
Duke of
I've actually not watched Bridgerton.
Who hasn't watched Bridgerton?
Me.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
it's okay.
Bridgerton.
Me either.
Have you watched it?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get
love
past the
Bridgerton.
first like 5 seconds of
I
it.
love good Bridgerton. I haven't.
I
seen
love the
new
period
season.
shows, and
Okay.
it started out, and it was like all the pop culture talk, and I was like, ooh, no,
That's
good.
crazy.
Yeah.
doesn't
So-
belong.
Anyway,
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
no,
here we
you're
go.
good.
Back to it.
You're good.
So yeah. So none of that worked out. So I
Decline
just,
10 times.
Decline. Yeah. So I just wasn't in the space to want to get back out there and date. Like in my mind, I thought I was, but
Mhm.
like honestly, I was like, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I'm good. I really don't.
Pass.
Also,
Yeah.
she just didn't like me.
Damn.
I
That's
wasn't
okay,
her
man.
type.
Those words never came out of my mouth.
But then
But actions.
Actions speak
Yeah.
louder than
Speak
words.
those
louder than
words.
words.
then you tricked her.
Yeah.
How'd you pull it off?
So
What'd you do?
the final
He did
time,
trick
it's
me.
kind of crazy to think about. Like this is 11. Like 11 is actually my favorite number. And so the 11th time I asked her on a date, she was in her office. She was in her office and she was talking to a bunch of
Pause.
students.
So
Oh.
let me
Uh-huh. Lay it
paint
out.
something really
Lay it out.
Uh-oh.
Paint.
At this time, he was no longer working at the college
Full
Okay.
time.
full time.
Yeah.
I remember him vividly.
Wait, what
stating
year
to
is
me-
this?
This was
2017.
2017.
I remember him occasionally, a few times, mentioning, and in my mind, I thought it was a joke. He could have been serious. But there were numerous times where he mentioned, "Oh, whenever I stop working at the college, I'm gonna take you on a date." And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So now, fast forward, go.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, because I had a rule I would not date coworkers.
Correct.
As well.
Okay.
That
So
was
carry on.
something. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I came in her office. There was a bunch of students in her office. They were talking about a new movie came out, and it was the final Saw movie.
I love
Okay.
Saw.
and
the Saw
and I
movies.
like the.
You love the Saw movies?
Yeah.
Love the Saw movies.
I've never seen a Saw movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we might
I've
have
seen
to binge.
clips.
We got a binge watch.
We have
party.
to binge watch them. love the Saw
I don't know if
movies.
Abby could do
It's
it.
just because of
Yeah, I
the.
was gonna say, are these thrillers?
No, I wouldn't say that.
It's
they're
like
not-
crime, suspense.
I'm getting
Suspense, like
a no head
puzzle.
shake from our sound man.
It's crime.
I think they
it's
know me pretty well.
blood and gore.
Yeah.
It's like
Go-
I might have
Crime.
to take a
here you
brain
have to
check.
find the
You just
key.
cover
You
your
have to find the
eyes for a
keys to
little
your
bit.
handcuffs.
Can I have my
This is
iPad in the
that.
corner and watch
syringes.
Bluey?
Yeah,
No,
you can
ma'am.
watch Bluey in
No.
the corner.
No, ma'am.
We'll come in with some Cheerios and say, Abby, are you
okay?
Are you enjoying?
Just give me my iPad and a blankie. I'll be good.
But yeah, we were talking about
Love
that
it.
Saw movie, and so those were coming out, and I just happened to say, "Hey, do you want to go watch that movie?"
And without thinking,
And she said it.
yes,
Said
yeah,
yes.
sure.
She said,
You know what?
I want to go see the Saw movie.
That's what it really was.
I think this
really
movie-
You
of the
wanted to go see the
Lord.
movie, not necessarily with him,
Sure.
but you got.
I didn't think about
You
it.
got
I was
tricked.
like, yeah, sure, whatever.
So like literally when I walked out of her office, there's a little small room right next to that. I did this.
Dang. You pulled that maneuver?
Checkmate.
that was the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was like our.
I like slow motion that you walking down the hall.
I've seen like the Breakfast Club like ending when he walks out in the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
exactly.
Justin
That
walking
was-
out.
yeah,
on
that
the
was your
SC
moment.
Football field. And
That was
Yeah.
totally him.
dang.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Crazy,
yes,
man.
yes. And so yeah,
Getting the mic.
and so that was our It's crazy. I actually have that date in my phone, and I have it titled as the day of non-rejection.
So yes,
Wow.
we
So
call it
it's
the day
an
of
anniversary.
non-rejection.
You could write a book about.
Do you celebrate it every year?
I do.
What day is it?
31st,
I thought it was
30th.
39th.
30th.
Of what
It was
month?
after homecoming, October.
October.
I thought it
October.
was October, babe.
30th.
Okay,
October 30th?
yeah, that's right.
Day before Halloween.
October 30th.
Something like that.
Whatever.
I don't want to pull my phone out.
I know. We don't feel like
Well, my
stealing.
phone's actually dead, so I can't pull it out.
My phone's not dead. But I'm not pulling it out.
Okay.
Carry on. That's what she said, right?
Sorry, I'm a middle school kid. I work at a middle
Oh,
school.
no.
That's
You're a middle school
crazy.
kid? I
Yeah,
hope
you're a
not.
middle school.
In some ways, I
Yeah.
resort back to that mind.
Adult, everyone.
He is a full-grown adult.
Full grown man.
I mean, although I do have some students who kind of look older than me.
Hey, stop it. Carry on.
But anyways,
Go ahead.
So how did that date go? And Jaff, did he leave you wanting more?
I mean, we went to see the movie. The movie was great. Loved the movie, of course. And then afterwards, he was like, we should do this again. I was like, sure. Like, so we planned from that moment, we planned another he planned another date. I'm just gonna correct myself, sir.
Thank you.
There we go.
So
There we
after
go.
that, you were like, okay.
Yeah,
this will
okay.
go.
Wasn't
I mean,
bad.
it's fine.
Did y'all have any of like the cliche little like he reached for the popcorn?
No.
No,
No, she had a kiddie tray
I did.
with trolleys.
And still to this
And
day, I
popcorn.
order a kitty tray.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like an uncomfortable thing where you're like,
No.
I don't
I
want
love my kitty
You're
tray.
just like, I want my small candy.
It's enough candy,
I
it's
want my
enough
small
popcorn, my
drink.
little drink. Yeah,
I still get the same thing that I got that
for
night.
exactly.
at the
I'm a cheap
What'd you
daddy.
get?
Cali Cinema 8.
I got a mixed icy. I got a
With
icy
Sprite.
with Sprite,
Yeah.
He still
and
gets
then
that to
also a
that.
big bag of thing of Charlie's. So that's
You know
all
what? I
would
got
get.
that last time we went to go see a movie. The Sprite and
half and half.
half and half.
I like it.
That's
The
a-
white cherry and
it's-
Sprite, man.
It was pretty solid.
good.
It was
Mm.
good.
That
I think I
sounds
got
good.
mine with the blue
The blue raspberry.
blue
Yeah,
raspberry.
Yeah.
just that. I don't know. That Starry kind of gives
The
it a better.
combo.
It's a better
Uh-huh.
consistency
Yeah.
of kind of drinking it as well. You know.
Yeah. Hot take.
Amen.
Starry's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Hey, yes.
Ooh.
Sounds better
That's
than
good.
Sierra Mist too.
Yeah. That's what Sierra Mist.
Love a
I mean,
Mist.
Sierra Mist sounds
I prefer
good,
Sprite,
but
though,
but Starry just I don't know. I feel like it's thicker, like more syrupy.
Thicker?
it's a little
Yes,
syrupy.
like it's like a.
The viscosity's a little
No,
lower.
I'm being for real. Like there's more syrup in it. It's a little bit
This is
like
true.
more like
Wow.
It's crispy.
yeah.
Okay.
You never had a good crispy Starry.
I haven't ever had a Starry.
Okay, we're gonna try.
I've had a Sprite.
We're gonna make sure that you have Starry.
I'm pretty.
Okay. I've never drank a Starry alone. Like
We're gonna be going
squirrels.
to Subway after this and
Alright.
getting him a nice
We're
crisp
squirrels.
Starry.
anyway.
Sorry.
So you guys went on this
Detour.
date. You were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, this was really awesome." You were
Yeah.
like,
Cool.
"Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it again." I
No,
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
he planned
then
the
it
next
just
date.
started
I
rolling.
so I planned another date. I think it was the week.
testing me.
It was a
Wow.
week of Thanksgiving. I didn't go home.
Mm-mm.
And so it was I planned our next date, and it was a Wednesday night, and we went to eat at District Taqueria in Wichita. Had some delicious food, and then some tacos. I also knew, like, from our friendship, I knew that tacos was her favorite
It's
food.
my love
And
language.
so I
Mm.
listened, locked that stuff away, and I actually
Mhm.
love tacos as well. So
Okay.
and so we went there, and then I took her to Aviator Church, which they have a Wednesday night. Used to have a Wednesday night service where they would serve chips and salsa during worship.
The one that was here in Winfield?
No, the one in Derby. Yeah, the one in Derby. And so I took her there.
That
I was like,
wonderful.
so our first like actual date, we went to eat and then went to church.
Wow.
And for me, like I kind of already knew like what kind of person she was from our conversations, but it was like, okay, how's she gonna act if I take her to church for a date?
Yeah.
And we had a great time. Like we had
She was gonna say, this is a little too churchy for me.
I grew up in church. My daddy was a deacon. I grew up like I'm all up through the church. So like, you want to take me on a date to church? Okay, let's go.
But it's not a
Wednesday night
normal
Bible
thing.
study? Let's go.
You know,
Right.
yeah.
Hit me with some Jesus.
You started talking eschatology all night, and you were like,
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Modern
go.
day Paul.
Yeah.
You're like,
Aquila.
you thought I was gonna flinch. You better watch out.
Dang.
Because here I am. What's up? Bring it on. So that didn't bother me.
Yeah, so it was just it was like a thing for me. Like I was like, I want to see how she acts, because like some people you take on a date, some girls you take on a date, and you go to church, they're like,
You want to go to church?
you want to go to church?
Some girl.
And so I
don't like the other girls.
I'm
I'm
not.
quirky like that.
if she
Were you up
acted-
there dancing with your flag?
No,
Oh yeah, were you flagging?
I was not flagging.
You weren't hitting the flags.
I was just some of the.
Doing a little. Do you have a little tambourine?
No, not that wasn't that type of church.
Dang, okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, we but like if she had like kind of acted some kind of way, or
You would have been like, nah.
it would have been like,
Thank you.
Done.
Have a nice life.
it would have been thank you, I
Yeah.
wish you the best,
Mhm.
because
pretty
We will not be seeing each other
Yeah.
again.
Yes. Have a nice life.
This is the last time I'm ever texting you.
Yeah, or seeing you. All the
But
things.
but I like honestly, I knew like if God had put somebody on my mind, then I like God know what he doing. Like
Yeah, for
sure.
like, and so like I wasn't fully convinced myself until like we went on that actual date in November, and then after that, during that day we kind of talked. We had like hard conversations. Like we had some serious like
No, not that one. It was the third date
Where
when
do
we went painting.
painting. Yes, we went
Painting.
Oh, you
painting.
went painting?
Painting.
Yeah,
My guy let it all
paint it
out.
down. That was in
Wow.
December, right?
He let it out.
Like I told her like I
All the things.
like basically
Wow.
like told her that I wanted to pursue her as my wife, like
Wow.
essentially.
And I'm just sitting there
And-
stroking my brush.
And I was like,
What were you
'cause-
thinking? Were you like,
Just stroking
oh
the
crap,
brush.
or were you like,
I'm just like, okay, all right. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
All right.
And I like told her like, because I ultimately been one of the things like about me is I wanted, to me, dating, the difference between dating today is people don't do it with intentionality.
Right.
And so
Yeah,
like
sure.
their intentions are not to be lonely
Yeah.
or to just have somebody to do things with, and then maybe after they get bored they move on to the next thing.
Mhm.
My intentions were to find my wife,
Mhm.
period.
Right.
And so if she wasn't trying to, if she would have told me in that instant, in that date, like, I don't think that's not really something I'm looking at right now, that probably would have been another. But I told her like, I want to have kids. I was like, oh, our kids gonna be raised in the church. We talked about money. We talked about debt. It's like, I believe in joining incomes, having a joint account and working through and paying off all our debt and being debt free.
So real
This is
fast.
day
So it's
three.
like
real
day
fast.
3.
How do you? So you're just painting. How do you just say so? I want to get married. Like how do you just bring that up?
I feel like that's pretty much how I.
Is that how it works?
Like,
Like,
hey,
you just-
it was like, so hey, yeah.
He was like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm looking to get married.
So it's
I
like,
mean, I think that's kind of like how
Like,
we
what are
did
your
it.
thoughts?
But I mean, like, I can't even think back.
It
to
wasn't a good
whenever,
transition.
Whenever we were there, like how we transitioned into talk. Like, if you're
Yeah.
just sitting there painting, like you're focusing on painting.
Yeah.
And
I'm
like, I
listening
don't
to
know.
the instructor. I'm trying to instruct my brush to make
Right.
some mountains.
Oh, it
Like, how
wasn't
do you
even just
sky-
like y'all were painting
That's a
pottery
whole-
or
it's a
something.
whole-
It's like a whole class.
Right, that's why I'm-
So there's a whole
How do you
group
just
of
get
people
into talking
listening.
about that.
That's
My
people's
guy
stuff.
here
That's
sitting next to a girl spilling
There's a
his
girl
whole
next
life.
to me.
Like,
And I'm just like, all
we
right.
had a 7-hour
remember-
FaceTime call.
The
to do
instructor's
that.
like,
You guys are in a
Justin, can
painting
we keep it
class.
down?
No,
Like-
she's going around helping everybody else. Oh, yes. Do your paintbrush like this.
Wow, beautiful.
We in our own little world. I guess
You're
we was in
painting
a
the
bubble.
chapel. She's painting a horse.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So do you guys have those paintings still?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were mountains. Weren't it
Yep.
the mountain painting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I was just like,
In my sky.
I
I
was
actually
curious.
remember like
whole world?
the girl next to me. It was a lady next to me, and she kept looking over. I could tell
She
she was
did.
listening.
She
'Cause I was like straightforward, and she had said like, "Okay then."
She did.
Like, okay, all right then.
She had her.
But-
She had her little ear.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
but
she
she
I
said,
like,
"Honey, if you don't take them, I'm
She was like, yeah.
But
She
yeah,
went over to you and
yeah.
said, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
But yeah, we straight up talk. I mean, we literally talked about like, and I had like these specific core questions that I asked, and I asked these on like every like date that I went on. Generally, it was the first, and a lot of it because it was like weeding out. I feel like I didn't necessarily need to ask, and I didn't really ask you. I just told you.
Yeah, you told me.
I just told her. On the other ones, it would be like asking these questions.
Yeah, but you knew her enough.
But I knew her enough that and so I just told her like, this is what I want, and this is the way I I want to live life, and I want a wife, and I kind of just build it all out. I laid it all out. And then and I was like, do you want to, be in a courtship with me? And I was like, again, I'm not trying to date you. I was like, I'm going old school courtship.
Old school.
Like we are focusing, like the goal is marriage, like from the jump.
Yep, for sure.
Like,
That's
awesome. We also talked about like not being intimate physically with each other. And that was a cool part. Like later, I think after that date when you were doing my hair, I think
there was like during the same period, like I was also, like I said earlier, I was on my healing journey or whatever, didn't want to date anybody, blah, blah, blah. And so during this time, like I would write prayers, I would read like a lot of scripture, I would listen to sermons on singleness and being intentional, just praying like, God, what would you have for me? Like if this is truly a desire that I have, like how would you want for me to operate? How would you want for me to move in my singleness so I can be more prepared for when that time comes, when my husband does appear and I am prepared. And so during this time, like I would journal, I would write, I would pray, like I would listen to sermons, I would read books, just trying to make sure that like
letters too.
Yeah, I was writing letters. At that time I was also writing letters to my husband, my future husband. And so eventually like the goal was to give whoever my husband was, he out there somewhere, to give him those letters eventually. Whenever we got married. And so I just kept these letters. They weren't like, I wasn't consistent in the writing, but every once in a while I would like, I think I need to pen a letter to this guy. So I would just write a letter, you know? And it could be anything from how my day was that day to just my thoughts about him. Things that God was putting on my heart about him or about us or about our future, whatever.
I'm so happy you're a light skin, medium hair.
It wasn't that specific, but
that would have been awkward.
Very awkward because clearly he's not crazy. Okay, but so I had that going on. I had just filling myself with just God's word and just good things, essentially. Making sure I stay focused. And I remember one of the prayers. A couple times there were prayers that I prayed. Specifically, it was just prayers that only God and I knew. Like I didn't tell anybody else. Which later was confirmation when we had a conversation. But one of the prayers I remember praying was like, God, I don't want to continue to put myself in these habitual cycles when it comes to relationships. Because I'm just be candid, I wasn't a virgin. Like I lost my virginity a long time ago. And so I would put myself in these habitual cycles in relationships where I would like fall for these people like, oh, this is my husband. Like every relationship was going to be, oh, this is my husband. And it didn't work out. So I was left heartbroken. And so I finally came to this point where I was like, okay, Lord, I'm not going to keep doing this. Like literally the next person that I'm with, like it's going to be my husband. I don't even want to kiss this person until we get married. I don't want to like, I don't even want to hold the hand. Like, let's just walk side by side down the sidewalk. Like, I don't want to put myself in a predicament where I will be compromising again. So I remember vividly praying prayers like that. Like, I don't want to kiss. Don't touch me. Just look at me in my eyes. Oh, that's it. Don't do nothing else. And so fast forward, it was one night, he had asked me to retwist his hair. We were in our courtship. We were watching this show called Black Love. On the Oprah Winfrey Network or whatever. So it's like, shout out to all. So basically they would interview like celebrity couples and talk to them about like their relationship and how they got together and just like words of wisdom in regards to marriage. And people on there were married 2 years, 20 years, 30 years. So it just doesn't matter. And so
it was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So we were watching the show. I'm retwisting his hair. And I don't remember the couple that was on there at the time. They were talking about their relationship and how they got together, whatever. And they had said the wife had said something about something related to kissing or something like that. I don't remember the whole story. But after that, I remember he was talking, like I'm standing behind him, retwisting his hair. So he can't see my face. We're looking at the TV. I'm retwisting his hair. And we start having a conversation about physical intimacy, essentially. And he was like, well, honestly, if it's left up to me, I don't want to kiss you until our wedding day. And I literally was like, oh my. Like, that's how I was feeling inside.
You're freaking out.
Oh my God. Like, Lord, are you kidding me right now? Like, okay. Time out, hold the phone, hold the mule, all the things. All the things.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I have not told anybody this. Like, this is only something that was between God and I. So for me, that was a confirmation, like, all right, this guy might be my guy, you know? So that was like the number one confirmation for me in that moment. And so, which we held on to that. Like, we literally did not kiss until our wedding day.
Right.
Man.
Can we go back a little bit?
Go back.
And so we've talked about like when my feelings changed. When did your feelings actually change?
I couldn't even tell you when my feelings changed. I'm trying to remember, when did I even start? I think it just happened. And I don't even know when it happened.
Yeah.
I remember we went to a concert, a Christian concert. Was it Elevation Worship, maybe? Mosaic.
We went to
Winter
Jam. And then we went to Elevation Worship one too.
Yeah, it was Elevation Worship, and it was in March. And I remember he was going to Texas like the next day or something like that. And he had invited me probably like a week prior. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about traveling with you. I don't know you like that, bro.
Yeah.
I don't like you like that. And so he was like, well, you're more than welcome to, come. Just let me know. And I'm like, okay. And so I let him know the night before. Well, we went to the concert. And so I told him, I said, I'll go ahead and, I'll go with you. He was going down there for his aunt's birthday. And
it was her
birthday party.
50th.
Yeah, it was her birthday party.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. And so this was like my first time actually like meeting his family. Yeah. Like seriously meeting the family.
Yeah.
And so, and he has a huge family, like a big family on both sides, mom and dad. And so we go down, and I think being there and just seeing how he interacts with his family, just seeing how they treated me, and we were just like courting. Like, it wasn't,
right.
I got to meet his grandmother. Like, it was just like all the things. It was
grandma, aunts, cousins.
It was overwhelming, but uncles. At the same time, it was a good time.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably when it started to turn for me. So that was like March of 20.
That was April.
Sorry, of 2018. 18-ish.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of when it started to turn for me.
Man.
Yep.
So wrapping this up, what was like your proposal? Like, how do you get from dating, kind of talking about these very significant things of what you're looking for in each other, to we're proposing, and we're getting married?
Well, ultimately, like I said, that whole courtship, that was the focus, was marriage the entire time, and so we continued to just get to know each other and grow together. We helped each other through different situations and things like that. Also, like thinking about like during that time, we also like when she come to over to my apartment, like we did not like cuddle. Like most she could do is put her feet on me, and then like normally 9:30 she had to go.
I had to go.
Yeah.
Like, and so that was kind of like, and that was more so for like creating those healthy boundaries for me, because I didn't want to fall into anything more. So
I have really fast. It's on topic, but it's not. So he lived in Wallingford, the freshman men's hall, right?
All boys.
And I worked on campus. So the students knew me too. But I guess the students, there were some guys that I knew. They had saw me coming in one night, right? But it wasn't like late. Like it was still within the time frame in which we had the boundary that we had created.
Right.
And so they saw me come in, but I didn't know that they saw me, right? And so
they thought,
so I left. They didn't see where I went, right? And so probably like a couple months later, Elisa told me, she was like, I have something to tell you. I was like, what? Because she knew like we were, And so she was like, some of the students saw you going in Wallingford, and they were like, Miss Shepherd, we think Miss Anjaih is messing with a student.
You never told me that.
Like, gross.
A freshman boy.
Miss Anjaih hooking up with the freshman.
We saw Miss Anjaih coming in Wallingford, and we don't know who to tell.
And that's the first thing they thought.
Yeah.
They didn't
And she
see
was
what
like,
dorm they
no.
went.
No. And she was like, yeah. Don't worry about her. Like, she doing what she doing. She was like, because at the time, students really didn't know. Like, we really had we kept it really under wraps. We kept our relationship really under wraps.
Well, I know, like, whenever I was in, your middle school class, like, people, like, my friends and I would be like, are you dating anyone? And you'd say, Taylor. And we're like, who's Taylor?
His guitar.
And then he'd bring his guitar, and he's like, this is my guitar, Taylor.
Yeah.
This is Taylor. This one's
We
Taylor.
literally kept our relationship under wraps as long as we could. Like, there was a lot of speculation, but we didn't confirm anything until we literally got engaged.
Yeah,
Right.
and there was a lot of, I will say there was a lot of some common friends who only knew me prior me and how it used to be.
Mhm.
And so like, it was like not allowing anybody else to cloud like what we were trying to build and
Right.
based off of their own perceptions.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Because sometimes you got to let that stuff slide.
Mhm.
But
Sorry, fast forward proposal.
So we so the way I proposed, actually I met her dad. I got to meet her dad and went up to Kansas City and talked to her dad. And we stayed the night at her dad's. I slept on the couch. She slept in her dad's bed, and her dad slept in the living room.
Yeah.
And we kind of stayed up most of the night. And then we and I told him like, hey, my goal, my goal is to marry your daughter. And for her to like, I want her to be my wife. And like literally like the first time we like talked that night, he's like, he already like pretty much gave me his like
so cool.
approval.
My dad.
Like he's like, son, I think I understand what you're doing. I know what you're doing, and I approve of you. And so me and her dad are a lot alike too, and in regards to how we
that mama of mine.
But yeah, so we're a lot alike, and so that was that part. But the way I proposed was on Father's Day. I asked my parents to come up, my sister to come up, and I also asked her siblings and her dad to come up and her mom, and we were gonna meet at Carrabba's, and I was gonna propose, but things didn't happen that way. And so what we ended up doing was the next day we went to church that morning, and then her dad took her to we went to a picnic. Picnic in the park. Picnic in the park. And during that time, like we were setting up like proposal. And so my parents were there, hers, and her dad walked her up the 77 steps at Southwestern. And I was waiting at the top, looking pretty debonair. And I had my guitar and I was strumming, and I had a rose like that had the ring inside of it in my in there. And she walked up the steps, and I talked to her a little bit, and then she took the rose and kind of opened it up, and then I got down on one knee, and
I blacked out. I don't remember what he said.
Actually, I have it all recorded.
Yeah, I have it all recorded.
Like I remember walking up the stairs. I remember taking the rose, and then once he started talking, like I blacked out. Like I don't remember anything.
You didn't have your action cam on, did you?
No, I had I had a video.
Good.
No, it's just the phone on the side.
Yeah. I don't remember anything. And they did me wrong though. Like I was dressed cute for church because we went to church that day. I was dressed so cute, and then I changed clothes. I was in some leggings and a raggedy t-shirt.
You still had your lashes on though.
My lashes and my hair, my nails were done.
And makeup. So
yeah, but y'all did me wrong.
But yeah.
Nice.
Did anyone try to convince you to stay in that outfit, or
no?
Was that okay? Yeah,
no,
they did you wrong.
They did me wrong.
No.
My mama and my daddy did me wrong.
You were surprised though, weren't you?
Was I surprised?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally surprised. I was not expecting that. So yeah.
And then the cool thing is we actually ended up getting married in the exact same place.
A year later.
Yeah. Because we were a COVID wedding. So we couldn't have the big wedding. Everything was shut down. So we ended up just having something small and right there.
Yeah.
In the same place y'all got married.
Where we got married. Top of 77.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your love story with us.
Yeah.
Next episode we'll
dive a
little deeper. So
how deep?
I'm gonna have some juicy questions.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace.